Make sure that you are taking care of the you that's going to be 65 or 70 years old one day and is going to need to pay rent. That 70-year-old you is going to need to buy food. That 70-year-old you is going to have to be able to pay the utility bills. You want to be the person today that's preparing for that person tomorrow. Everybody wants to be financially stable, to relax and chill and have enough money to do the things they want to do. Well, on this video, I want to talk about how you can get there. I want to give you 7 steps to financial stability that most of us can do starting right now. Now, first of all, what is financial stability? In my mind, guys, and everybody can define this a little bit different, but in my mind, financial stability is the ability to stop living paycheck to paycheck, have a good amount of savings and cash built up for emergencies, and have confidence in your ability to manage those money emergencies that come up. It's sort of a peace of mind and a sense of being okay with your money, right? Being in a good position financially, or simply just being comfortable financially, and with the ability to have some freedom with your money. And most importantly, guys, financial stability is having some choices that you can make concerning what you do on a regular basis, on a daily basis, and what you can do with your money. Now, all of us are going to define financial stability just a little bit different. That's my definition. So what's going to get you to financial stability? Let's dig a little bit deeper into these 7 steps of financial stability. Now, number 1 is take inventory of where you currently are with your money. Be honest with yourself. Don't push it under the rug, right? Go ahead and look at your credit score, pull your credit report so you can see where you are in terms of credit, and take a long, hard look at your monthly income. And of course, at the same time, take even a longer look at your monthly expenses. How are you spending the money that's coming into you every single month? And once you start looking at your income and your expenses, then you can begin to figure out where there's some missing pieces, where there's some gaps, where there's some places where you can do a little bit better to change a few things so that you can ultimately reach financial stability. For most of us, the easiest thing to change between our income and our expenses is our expenses, right? It's the easiest thing to make a change of today, how we spend our money. So when you're trying to get to financial stability, you've got to make some decisions about your spending and possibly consider adopting a more frugal lifestyle so that you can live below your means. And that phrase just means this, guys. Your means is your income. And so living below your means is something that ultimately, the very first step is something that you've got to make sure you're intentional about, that you're trying to do as you try to reach becoming financially stable, right? So the frugal lifestyle has to be something that you do on purpose, maybe, and it doesn't have to be really frugal, right? Just lower your expenses to the point that you can live under your income and make sure that's a lifestyle that you can sustain. Remember, it's not punishment, guys. It's just being focused and intentional. The other thing about taking inventory of where you are currently is make sure you're doing a budget on a regular basis so you can monitor and manage that income and those expenses, and then revisit that budget at the end of every month to see how you did. Now, the next step, number 2, is set some goals. Set some short-term goals, 6 months, maybe a year, maybe even 3 months for a short-term goal, but then set some longer-term goals, some 1 year, some 2 years, some 3 year, maybe a 5-year goal, 10-year goals. Set some goals with your money financially. And of course, make sure those goals are specific, they're measurable, and they have some type of time that is associated with them. And after you set just a few goals, guys, don't try to set too many financial goals, because if you set too many financial goals, the chances of reaching those goals are probably going to be reduced significantly. So only set a few goals, maybe a couple of goals that are short term and maybe a couple of goals that are long term. With each goal, make sure it's written down and you also have some action steps associated with those goals. Action steps are just things that you're going to do on a regular basis every day or once a week or once a month to try to help you reach those financial goals. And again, make sure you write them down. Guys, there's several studies that show. One in particular shows that you are 40% more likely to reach a goal if you actually write that goal down. Make it a priority to go ahead and write those goals down. It won't take you no more than 10, 15 minutes, maybe 30 minutes to write them down. And with each goal, under each goal, write down action steps that you're going to do on a regular basis, habits you're going to form to actually achieve those goals. Again, this is the start of becoming financially stable. Now let's go to number 3. Number 3 is make sure you build up an emergency fund to take care of issues that are going to come up, and we know they're going to come up. There's going to be a flat tire. There's going to be a stove that's going to go out in the home. There's going to be a repair somewhere to the plumbing where you're living, or there's going to be something that you're going to have to spend money on that's going to come out of nowhere. Be prepared. Do what you can to get 3 to 6 months of your monthly expenses saved up as soon as possible. And if you want, do it automatically so that every time you get paid a paycheck from your job, you have $50 come out of that check or $200 come out of that check to put towards your emergency fund. Now, you're going to know what your emergency fund needs for 3 to 6 months will be, because that's going to come out in your budget. When you do a budget every single month, you're going to figure out, what are the needs and the things I need on this budget every month? Okay, so many dollars for this and so many dollars for that. Let me add up those needs. Now, I like to do needs as opposed to overall monthly budget, but you could do it either way. You could take your overall monthly budget and multiply it by 3 to come up with how much you need for emergency funds, or multiply that by 6. Or you can take your monthly needs and multiply them by 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 to come up with your emergency fund, what your emergency fund should be. Now, when you do that exercise, guys, and you have a targeted figure that you want to save up enough money for, just do it automatically. Let it come out of your paychecks every single 2 weeks or every time you get paid. And then that way you don't have to think about it. It becomes almost like a bill. And next thing you know, a year or 2 or 3 later, you have all of your emergency funds saved up. Hey guys, I hope you're enjoying this video, guys. If you're getting anything at all, anything of value out of this video, do me a favor and smash the like button. And also, please consider subscribing to the channel if you're not a subscriber. And don't forget to drop me a comment below. I want to know your thoughts. And share the video with someone that you think could benefit from this information. Okay, let's get back to the video. Now, number 4, the fourth thing you want to do to try to reach financial stability is you want to reduce your debts. And you want to get to the point where you're not only reducing your debts, but you're not taking on any new debt on depreciating items, on things that are going down in value. That's stuff that is taking money from your emergency fund. That's stuff that is taking money from your investments into appreciating assets. That's stuff that is pulling your net worth down. Those depreciating items that you have payments on a monthly basis, that's pulling money that you could be using to work for you, as opposed to losing that money on an item that's going down in value. So to be financially stable, guys, it requires that you have money. And when you're spending all of your money on paying off things that are going down in value, you're losing money. You're basically going in the opposite direction, the wrong direction for financial stability, right? You can't afford to have all of your money coming in and all of your money going out on payments on things and things that are basically not putting any money back into your pocket. So you want to reduce your debt, and you also want to not take on any new debt on things that are depreciating and going down in value. And if you have debt right now and you're trying to figure out how to pay it off, you can create your own debt payoff plan using something like the debt snowball method, where you take all of your debts and you list them from smallest to largest, and then you take any extra income every month and you put it towards the smallest debt. And then once that small debt is paid off, you roll all that money, what you were paying on the small debt, plus that extra money, into debt number 2. And then once you pay off debt number 2, you roll all that money into debt number 3. And you just roll it all up until you pay off your debts. And you can do all this while you're saving money towards your emergency fund as well. So let's jump into number 5. Number 5 is this: to become financially stable, be sure that you are paying yourself first. Guys, the best person to take care of the old you is the young you. A great way to ultimately be financially stable is to make sure that you are taking care of the you that's going to be 65 or 70 years old one day and is going to need to pay rent. That 70-year-old you is going to need to buy food. That 70-year-old you is going to have to be able to pay the utility bills. You want to be the person today that's preparing for that person tomorrow. And the best way to do it is make sure you're paying yourself first. Helps you with financial stability. It helps you be less stressed. It helps you be less anxious. It helps in so many ways in terms of financial stability. So if you have that 401k or that 403b on the job, make sure you are contributing towards it. Make sure you're getting the match if your job has a match. If you don't like to or want to invest in your 401k, make sure you have a brokerage account, a traditional IRA or a Roth IRA, something that you're putting money into every single time you get paid so that ultimately you'll have some financial stability, because you have to invest money today to have something tomorrow, right? So before you're thinking about anything else, make sure you're thinking about investing for your future. And perhaps you want to do that in stocks. Perhaps you want to do that in bonds. Perhaps you want to do that in a Roth IRA or a traditional IRA, or maybe even some index funds or mutual funds or ETFs. Guys, there's many ways that you can be investing that money for your future. But somehow you have to prioritize it, or else it just won't get done. And speaking of investing for your future, guys, a part of your investing may be trying to come up with ways to make more income. In other words, maybe a side gig, a side hustle, something you have a passion for, something you enjoy or love doing, or some type of area where you have a gift in. Maybe you can monetize that thing right now to make some additional money. Number 6, the number 6 thing that you want to do to have financial stability is gather new information about money. Gather new knowledge about personal finances. You have to improve your financial literacy so that you have more information that you can gather from, because that'll help you make better financial decisions. It's going to help you make more informed financial decisions along the way of trying to become financially stable. And you do this, guys, by reading more books about personal finances and money, watching the YouTube channels like you're doing right here, guys, and gathering this new information, and then applying this new information to your own circumstances with money, right? The information you get from YouTube channels like this, or seminars or workshops, or the books that you read, those things go a long way towards helping you develop your own personal philosophy about money that's different than where you are right now with money. Because if you want to go in a new and different direction with money, you've got to begin to think different about money. And the way you begin to think differently about money is by gathering new pieces of information. Because if you continue to think what you've always thought about money, you're going to continue to have what you currently have with money. Now, for some of you, that's cool, that's great, you're doing really well. For others, you're not doing so well. And if you're not doing so well, you got to start thinking differently and getting new information to connect new dendrites and synapses in your brain so you can think differently and then thus behave differently with money. But it all starts with self-education in terms of financial literacy. My suggestion, try reading a book a month on personal finances. And guys, at the end of 1 year, you'll have 12 books of information in your brain, giving you new ways to think and also encouraging new behaviors with money. And also, go to smartmoneybro.com. We've got a bunch of blog posts on that website that you can begin to read and begin to kind of help you form a new way of looking or a new way of thinking about money. Now, number 7 is this. Be sure to schedule into your budget every single month, every time you get paid, some inexpensive ways to have fun with your money, right? You want to be able to enjoy your money. Every single time you create a monthly budget, put aside $20, $30, $50, $80, $100, whatever it may be, a minimal amount, just to do something that you enjoy doing with your money in an inexpensive way. Now, I'm not saying put a bunch of money to the side every single month for your trip to Aruba or your trip to Dubai. That's not what I'm saying, guys. I'm saying there's so many inexpensive ways that you can get self-care, right? That you can take care of your mental health, that you can relieve stress. Use your money to do some of those things, guys, and enjoy and have fun with a small portion of your money while you're trying to get to financial stability. You're going to find really, really quickly that you can have a lot of fun on a little bit of money. You can do a lot of things that don't cost a whole lot of money. So there you have it, guys. The 7 steps to financial stability. Guys, financial stability is all about peace of mind. It's all about relieving the stress and relieving yourself of anxiety around money. And at the same time, controlling your money and creating choices for yourself with your money. So hey guys, I really hope you received something of value from these 7 steps to financial stability. Please do me a favor, guys, drop a comment below and let me know what you've done to gain financial stability, or what do you even consider financial stability. Please share this video with somebody that you think could use this information, guys. And also, again, smash that like button. Hey, the best person to take care of the old you is the young you. Take care of yourself and take care of other people. Until the next video, peace.